Good morning, good afternoon, and good night, all depending on when you're watching. Do you know what a highlight reel is? A highlight reel. I'm sure you know what a highlight reel is. We all live in the YouTube era, right? We've watched tons and tons of highlight reels, but there's another highlight reel that plays out in our minds seconds before we engage in any worthwhile endeavor, right? And typically this highlight reel is a collection of successful outcomes and not so successful outcomes, which have an impact and influence in terms of how we'll show up in the next thing that we do. Now let's talk about these four narratives that are the highlight reel, right? Now they all start off with there being the individual, you, and then there's a box. There's a box with your name on it that represents your dreams, your hopes, your aspirations, everything that you've wanted in life, right? And so what happens in that first narrative, people recognize that that box is for them. They recognize that box is for them, and they start stretching, they start preparing to go after it, but then they realize it's going to be really, really tough to go after their dreams. So they get intimidated, they start to overthink, they start to get stressed out, and next thing you know, they trick themselves into not even going after the thing that actually has their name on it, and they go away from their dreams. It's sad, but it's true. The second narrative is the person recognizes that that box has their name on it. That's what they want in their life. So they start stretching out, they start getting themselves ready, start thinking, strategizing, they start getting all the information that's needed to go after what they want. And they start charging toward what they want, and they encounter a little bit of a speed bump. They get hit hard, and next thing you know, they trick themselves into believing that, you know what, this pain, this suffering, this stress, this discomfort, it isn't worth it. And they go away from their dreams. The third narrative, person recognizes that box got my name on it. Those are my dreams, my hopes, my aspirations, everything that I've ever wanted in life, right? They start stretching, they start getting themselves ready, they start getting themselves prepared, and they march after whatever it is they want. They finally get to it. They finally get to their dreams, and they start to pick it up, and they realize it's really, really heavy. They start realizing that it's hard to handle. And at some point, they convince themselves that the work that it would take to get this idea, this thing off the ground, simply isn't worth it. So imagine getting to your dreams and then leaving your dreams on the table for someone else to get to, because you simply didn't want to put in the extra work that it took to get that thing off the ground and keep it off the ground, right? Then there's the last narrative, the fourth narrative of the highlight reel, where somebody recognizes there's something with my name on it. They do the same thing. They get themselves ready to go. They start strategizing, they start organizing their thoughts, so on and so forth, and they take off. And as soon as they take off, they encounter a little bit of turbulence, a little bit of resistance and opposition. But it doesn't stop them. They keep on powering through, because they're thinking to themselves, I don't want to know what happens if I don't get to my dreams or my aspirations. And finally, they pick up that box and they realize it's hard to handle. It's heavy, but they continue to work until they get that thing off the ground and in the air. And here's why this is so important. You have to attack every single moment. Don't get too caught up on if you're prepared. Don't get too caught up on if you're ready. Sometimes it ain't about you being ready, it's about you being willing to get after it. Because if you continue to get after it, you'll have a highlight reel of you attacking everything, of you getting after it. Even though you might come up short, at least you were willing to be courageous and brave and attack and go after what it is you want. You don't want to have a highlight reel full of you being afraid to go after your dreams, or maybe getting hit hard and running away from your dreams, or maybe even get into your dreams and quitting on your dreams. You want a highlight reel that's of you attacking. So with that being said, attack today, attack tomorrow, attack your dreams, get after. So where every time that you go after something that you think is important, you have a highlight reel of you in constant attack mode. Hopefully it makes sense. My name is Marv Fox Jr., Purpose Recognition Coach, and I help highly ambitious and courageous people discover their purpose with two simple questions. Once again, Marv Fox Jr. Done.